Today, we will use the plot and characters of HBO's hit Game of Thrones to help understand the developmental networks in genetics and the regulatory relationships behind them. First, let's introduce the four main characters on our network. We have Cersei Lannister, Arya Stark, Daenerys Targaryen, and Jon Snow. The T-bars are used to indicate that if that gene or character is ultimately turned on, it will repress the following gene, or in this case, character. The arrows show the potential for that gene to reach a protein status, or in this case, be the ruler of Westeros at some point. Let's look at an example of an activate versus repress regulatory relationship. This is another way of showing positive versus negative control. Positive control is another way of describing the activated regulatory protein. Positive control occurs when the protein binds to DNA to stimulate transcription. In our example, think of Daenerys Targaryen as our positive activator protein. Transcription will be the idea of good power. We can think of good power as treating people with kindness and mercy, abolishing slavery, and maintaining positive growth. Negative control is another way of describing the regulatory repressor protein. This protein binds to DNA to prevent transcription. We can relate the repressor protein to Cersei Lannister, an out-of-touch, entitled monarch who will do anything to gain power no matter how many lives it costs. In our story, Daenerys, the activator protein, is trying to stimulate good power, or transcription, while Cersei, the repressor protein, is trying to prevent it. If we walk through our developmental network, we can see how each relationship is so important to the pathway of the next character. This can be shown in mutations, where the lack of the presence of a certain character, or gene, can hugely affect the outcome of the other characters, or what the protein inevitably will be. In mutants lacking Cersei Lannister, many significant characters wouldn't be dead, and the transcription of Jon Snow coming into a powerful position in the north would not have occurred. In mutants lacking Jon Snow, the transcription of Arya Stark getting her sword at the needle and taking out her numerous enemies would not have occurred. In mutants lacking dragons and Jon Snow, the transcription of Daenerys Targaryen reaching Westeros and fighting for the Iron Throne would not have occurred. In mutants lacking Arya Stark and Daenerys Targaryen, the transcription of Jon Snow taking over power in the final episode would never have occurred. These character relationships can be interpreted in the genetic sense and used to show the importance of each protein's function and when and where they implement that function.